Hi, and welcome to the Frog Pond School of Design, where we like to talk about things that might be of interest to the architect in you. Okay? Well, what architect isn't interested in the Parthenon? That's right, that venerable old building sitting up on the Acropolis in Athens, where it's been for 2.5 millennium since it was built in about the year 440 BC. And it's a magnificent example of the Doric style. And being Doric, it has the bands, the frieze going around the building, inside and out. There's another one on the inside that alternate triglyphs and metopes. Now the triglyphs are a little decorative element that kind of refer back to the old days of wood construction. That would be the end of the beam coming out the edge of the building. But then the spaces between those triglyphs are called metopes. In some buildings they're blank. In some buildings they have sculpture in them. In the Parthenon, they had magnificent sculptures that told stories of ancient Greek lore. And they were actually designed to be viewed from down on the ground with you looking up at them. The angles of everything, that was all taken into account. But they're not all there today. Back in 1687, with the Ottoman Empire ruling Greece, they were at war with Venice. And the homeboys, the Ottoman guys, decided, what self-respecting enemy is going to bomb the Parthenon? So they used it as a munitions storage facility. Well, they were mistaken about that, thought that it wouldn't get bombed, and that's why part of the Parthenon, the roof and some of the rear sections are gone today. But for the most part, those sculptures weren't damaged. They were still there. And then a couple hundred years later, around 1800, Thomas Bruce arrived as the seventh Lord Elgin, kind of an ambassador position from Great Britain to Greece. And he promptly decided that those sculptures needed to be removed for safekeeping. And where would they go? Well, London, of course. By 1816, he had not only removed all these and shipped them to London, he had sold them. And there are conflicting reports on whether he sold them directly to the British Museum or to the British government. But they ended up in the hands of the British Museum. That's where they are today, all these years later. And you know what? Nothing's happened to the Parthenon since then. They would have been perfectly safe where they were. But they're still in London. Over half of the ones that were in good shape when he got there. Of course, in recent years, this has become a point of controversy, and there's been a lot of talk going on, arguments between the two governments and the museum. Britain claims that they've got paperwork that proves that they took them legally. They're not sure they can find that paperwork, but even if they could, the Greek position is, it doesn't matter. They belong in Greece. So these things that are known as the Elgin Stones or the Elgin Marbles, they really only represent a small portion of the ancient Greek artifacts of all kinds and from all around the area down there that are today in the British Museum. I mean, it's been said, if you want to see ancient Greece, go to the British Museum. So is this preservation? Is this just stuff that happened because it was a long time ago? Or is it pilfering? Where do those things belong? Even though they've been in London all these years, might it make sense for them to find their way back to Greece? We'll just have to see what happens. Negotiations are ongoing. Thanks for joining us today at the Frog Pond School of Design. I look forward to seeing you hanging around the pond again real soon.